Hi there, people. Welcome to our 49th class. Thank you very much to Corporación Municipal de San Miguel for this wonderful, marvelous, awesome space that we still have so we can still keep on learning English in a different and funny way. Welcome to our 49th class.
Be mine. Come back. Come back to the city. Come back. Come back to the city.
Welcome once more to our 49th class here on Learn English with Teacher Clau. And now we are going to, as you can see here, up here, upper there, up here, it says reading comprehension plus vocabulary exercise. Yes, and we're going to start with the vocabulary exercises, and then for the second part of the class we're going to do the reading comprehension part, which is quite simple. We're going to work over two texts, and they're not complicated at all. In fact, they're very simple, because the idea, what I want you to do is to start exercising your mind to comprehend, to understand in English, not translating every word that you hear or that you read. So that's the point of these exercises today. Take a read, right? Take a look of the text and answer some questions. And when we get to that moment, I will explain to you that you have to answer depending on how you are asked. But that will come in a few more minutes in the second part of the class. Now we're going to start immediately with the vocabulary exercises. And as you can see here, vocabulary, there we are. Vocabulary is something very important, because usually people think that, well, vocabulary is not important because I just have to learn the grammar. Yeah, but if you learn the grammar, you need to master grammar, you need vocabulary. So vocabulary is the key to learn any other language besides your native language, in your case, which is Spanish, I presume, right? So let's start. What is special about the words of vocabulary that we're going to work today? It's are different examples of how specific is the English language in comparison with the Spanish. For example, in this first exercise, we have 3 different words in English, because it's very specific, and just 1 word in English. Well, maybe 2, but usually it's just 1 word in English. And let's start with the first group of words, which we have here 4 different words with just 1 word in Spanish. Thief, shoplifter, burglar, and pickpocket. All these 4 different words, 4 different jobs, we can say. In Spanish, we can say just ladrón. But in English, it's more specific. The number 1, thief, is the one that tells you, give me all your money. This is an assault, right? That's the thief. Like Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Robin Hood, thief, like a thief. Shoplifter, it's another character that is a person that is specialized in stealing shops or stores, like in the mall, like H&M, right, and all the other stores or shops. It's specialized in that area. Okay, he or she knows how to cut the alarm, how to get into these stores and everything. Burglar is a different and very specific kind of thief, but it's specialized in houses. If somebody gets or breaks into your house, and starts stealing some things, like in the old-fashioned way, right, with a bag or a sack here, like that, that's a burglar, because it's specialized in houses. And the pickpocket, maybe we can have a word in Spanish for that. Maybe it's carterista, because the pickpocket just touch you in here, or like, for example, if you're wearing a jacket, they say, oh, I'm sorry friend. They hit you with the shoulder, and they say, I'm sorry friend, and they just do this, and all your money and your wallet is away. They're very fast with the hands. That's a pickpocket, right? So we have 4 different words for specific kinds of thieves, and in Spanish we have only one, which is ladrón, right? Let's go to the second one. Here, café, coffee, and brown. It's just one word in Spanish. For example, if I say in Spanish, estaba en el Hard Rock Café, bebiéndome un café, usando mi chaleco café. Sounds cacophonic, repetitive, right? Sounds strange. But if I say, I was at the Hard Rock Café, and I was drinking a coffee, and I was using my brown sweater, it doesn't sound cacophonic because there are 3 different words. Café with the hyphen, it's a word taken from Spanish, which is used to describe the place where you go to have a coffee, which is number 2. For example, the Hard Rock Cafe, the Starbucks Cafe, those are café, okay? Just like in Spanish. And that is a word in Spanish, café. Coffee, of course, we all know that is the one that we are used to drink, coffee, right? And brown, besides being the color brown, also can be like, for example, a kind of cake which is called brownie. That's why it's brownie, because that is the color that the little cake has, brownie, which is brown. Wow, that's cool. Okay, let's go to the third group of words. Okay, this is interesting. Look, watch, see, and stare. Look is like I'm looking at you, I'm paying attention. For example, somebody is talking to you, or you are talking to somebody, and the person is just inside the cell phone. They say, hey man, look at me, look at me. Okay, look at me. All right. Watch is like mirar, it's like look, but concentrated, focus. Like, for example, you watch the television. You don't see the television, you watch television. Okay, because you are concentrated, focus on what you are doing, what you are watching. See, it's like just more, it's more general. Look is look at me, look at this. Okay, watch TV, let's watch something with more intensity, with more concentration. See is more general. Okay, like for example, let me see if I can help you. See, just see. Okay, and stare is like, for example, if you're in love of an actor, an actress, or a singer, and then this person go past just a few meters away, and you're like this. This kind of face is an staring face. Stare. Look for a long period of time, very focused, right? And you don't see anything around you. You're stared. Okay, mirando fijo. That would be like the most possible translation. Okay, and these are all the 4 of them, ver or mirar, depending on what kind of intensity are we talking about. Okay, ask and question. Even though sometimes it sounds very similar and you think that both are synonyms and they are absolutely exchangeable one with another, that's not the case, because ask is the verb and question is the pronoun. Okay, so if I use these 2 words together in Spanish, te puedo preguntar una pregunta o pregunta la pregunta. Sounds cacophonic, sounds strange. In Spanish we say haz la pregunta, right? But in English I can say ask any questions you want. Ask me anything. Pregúntenme. Ask me. Okay? And that's preguntar. Ask or question. Let me question you. Let me question you. Okay, let me question you, or let me ask you, right? Because it's another form to use this word express. I'm sorry, preguntar. And finally, conversate is a verb that we have been using conversate for over 200 years. The first time that verb was used was in 1811. 1811. So on 2011, you have been using this verb for over 200 years in 2011. So that's conversate. Okay, and conversate is like to exchange thoughts and opinions during your speech. But the difference is that converse, like the sneakers name, converse, can work as a noun, can work as an adjective, or can work as a verb. That's converse, and this one is conversate, which is a little bit different. Okay. Okie dokie. And now we're going to start with the reading comprehension, but that will be just in a couple of seconds, which is in the second part of this class. And now in the second part of our 49th class, we're going to have some reading comprehension exercises. As I told you at the beginning, these are not very difficult, absolutely not difficult. It's just to exercise in a simple way how to read a text in English without the fact of translation. Because usually we have as a mental bias, a mind bias, translate everything that we read. You don't need to translate to understand. For example, in the case of most of you people that has Spanish, most of you people that have Spanish as a native language, you don't translate things from Spanish into other language to understand it. You just listen and understand in Spanish. That's exactly the same thing, the same process that we have to be aware, that we have to have in mind to read in English and to understand, read a text in English. Okay, so we're going to start with the first part, the first reading comprehension exercise. This is really a piece of cake. Here it says Jack. Okay, I'm going to read first. This is Jack. He is my best friend. He's from Australia. Never Australia, please. Australia. He has been in Thailand for 2 years. He has 2 older brothers. They all live in a big house in Bangkok. We like to play football together. We also like to go swimming. Jack is very strong and he can swim very fast. Okay, I'm going to read it one more time. Pay attention. One more time. Try to avoid translation. The idea of this exercise is not translate everything to do the exercise. It's to understand everything to do the exercise. So we're going to read again. This is Jack. He is my best friend. He's from Australia. He has been in Thailand for 2 years. He has 2 older brothers. They all live in a big house in Bangkok. We like to play football together. We also like to go swimming. Jack is very strong and he can swim very fast. Right, so now some questions in relation to the text. So if you want to do it first, okay, let's stop the video right now at the count of 3 so you can have some minutes to develop it. Okay, 3, 2, 1, stop the video right now. Alright, and now if you have continued, it's because you have all these 6 exercises already done, right? So Jack is from what part? Jack is from Australia, right? Jack is from Australia. Very good. He has been in Thailand for 2 years. That includes today, the moment that we're reading the text. He has been in Thailand for 2 years. He has 2 older brothers. Okay. He has 2 older brothers. They all live in a big house in Bangkok. They all live in a big house in Bangkok. We like to play football together. That's absolutely understandable. We also like to go swimming. Jack is very strong and he can swim very fast. So, he has two what? 2 brothers, right? Very good. Number 3, they live in a big house in Bangkok. A big house in Bangkok, right? He has been in for 2 years. He has been where? He has been in Thailand for 2 years. Jack is very what? Jack is very strong. Strong, right? Very good. Here it is, strong. And he can't swim very fast. He can swim very fast. Okay, people. Last time I'm going to read the text, so follow me, okay, in the reading. This is Jack. Now your turn. He is my best friend. Now you. He is from Australia. He has been in Thailand. He has been in Thailand for 2 years. For 2 years. Period. Period. He has 2 older brothers. He has 2 older brothers. They all live in a big house in Bangkok. We like to play football together. We also like to go swimming. Jack is very strong and he can swim very fast. You see, it's not so difficult to understand. It's a piece of cake. English it will always be a piece of cake. So now we are going to read in loud voice this text. Repeat after me. This is Jack. He is my best friend. He is from Australia. He has been in Thailand for 2 years. He has 2 older brothers. They all live in a big house in Bangkok. We like to play football together. We also like to go swimming. Right, so Jack is very strong and he can swim very fast. Let's go to the second reading comprehension exercise. Okay, this looks long, but it's not that long. I'm going to read the text first and then we're going to start working on the questions. So, this is Nelly. She's a nurse. She's tall and thin. She works at the hospital. She looks after sick people. That's the first paragraph, okay? Second paragraph. She gets up at 6 o'clock in the morning. She takes a shower and puts on her clothes. Then she eats breakfast at 6:30. At 7 o'clock, she drives her car to the hospital. Nellie starts work at 8 o'clock. She cleans the room in the hospital. Then she helps the doctors. At 12 o'clock, she has lunch. She goes home at 5 o'clock. At home, she takes a shower and she cooks dinner. She has dinner at 6:30 in the evening. Then she watches TV. At 10 o'clock, she goes to bed. So, what do we have here in the questions? What's her name? Her name is Nellie. Very good. What is she? What profession is she? She's a nurse. She's a nurse. Where does she work? Where does she work? So the next question is number 3. Where does she work? She works, many people say she works in the hospital. No, she works at the hospital. Remember that we use at when we talk about buildings, where we don't know exactly in what part of the building does she work, we use at, okay, because it's a building. Number 4, is she fat? No, she isn't. Here you have to be careful, be very careful, because here you have, for example, number 4, is she fat? Is she fat? We use verb to be in the question, we use verb to be in the answer. Is she fat? No, she isn't. But here on number 5 we have, instead of verb to be, we have the auxiliary verb can. Can she drive a car? So the answer should be with can too. Yes, she can. Right? Can she drive a car? Yes, she can. Next one. Does she get up at 6 o'clock? Does she get up at 6 o'clock? Yes, she does, right? Yes, she does. Because you are doing the question with does, so in the answer you have to use does too. Does she eat breakfast at 7 o'clock? Does she eat breakfast at 7 o'clock? No, she doesn't. No, she doesn't. Why doesn't? Because she eat breakfast at 6:30 or 6:30. Number 8. Does she cook dinner at the hospital? Does she cook dinner at the hospital? No, she doesn't. No, she doesn't. Does she help the doctors? Yes, she does. Yes, she does. Does she go to bed at night? Does she go to bed at night? Yes, she does. Right? And here, what time does she have lunch? At what time she has lunch? At 12 o'clock. At 12 o'clock she has lunch. So what time does she have lunch? She has lunch at 12 o'clock. What time does she have dinner? What time does she have dinner? She has dinner at 6:30. 6:30 in the evening. Here, she has dinner at 6:30 in the evening. And last but not least, now last question: what time does she go to bed? at 10 o'clock she goes to bed. At 10 o'clock she goes to bed. So here in the last one is at 10 o'clock, right? So now I'm going to read one more time the text. Okay, so pay attention to the reading and to the intonation. This is Nellie. She is a nurse. She's tall and thin. She works at the hospital. She looks after sick people. What is look after? Look after is take care. Okay, cuidar. Take care or look after is the same. Look after is cuidar too in Spanish. She looks after sick people. She gets up at 6 o'clock in the morning. She takes a shower and puts on her clothes. Then she eats breakfast at 6:30. At 7 o'clock, she drives her car to the hospital. Nellie starts work at 8 o'clock. She cleans the rooms in the hospital. Then she helps the doctors. At 12 o'clock, she has lunch. She goes home at 5 o'clock. At home, she takes a shower and she cooks dinner. She has dinner at 6:30 in the evening. Then she watches TV. At 10 o'clock, she goes to bed. What are we talking about here? It's a routine. What we are reading here, is a routine of Nellie every day. Every day she gets up at the same time. Every day she takes a shower or she has breakfast, right? Or all the rest of the activities of the day in the same order, just like every day. Okay, that's part of the routine process, and there are many people that have asked me, when are we going to do something like this? Well, okay, now we're doing it. Okay. So exactly, we're fulfilling some desires of people that we should have more reading comprehension exercises, because it's very, very funny and it's super, super simple. Okay. So let's continue. We're almost finishing our 49th class. Hi there again, and this is how we finish our 49th class. I hope you had a really good time, just as much as I had. And what we have done today we have worked with vocabulary, some specific vocabulary, and some words that sometimes maybe are a little bit difficult to comprehend for us, that we are Spanish native speakers. Why? Because in Spanish we have just one word. Remember that, just like with the word café, in Spanish, we have just one word, café. But in English, we have 3 different specific words. Café, which is the place where you drink your coffee. Second word, coffee. And the color, which is brown. You have 3 different cafés. Brown, coffee, and café. And in Spanish, we have only one, café. So those words is important to have them in mind. What is the difference at the moment of speaking? Okay, and by the end, we did something that is really, really useful and really, really necessary, and in any language that you're learning, which is the reading comprehension. Because if you travel, for example, to another country, and you have to read the instructions of, I don't know, the things that you want to use at the hotel that you're arriving, or if you want to, I know, book a table in a phone call, and you have to read the text, right, of the menu. Reading is absolutely important, especially if you are already developed listening and speaking. Then comes reading as the third activity, the third skill that we need to develop in relation to the development of the 4 skills. 4 skills, which are the 4 skills? Listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So besides of practice listening and speaking, we have to practice the reading in order to acquire, to get as much vocabulary as our brain needs to start writing. If we listen a lot, we will speak a lot. If we read a lot, we will write a lot. Okay, so that's why we need to learn a lot of vocabulary by reading things that are not really difficult. Neither of the two texts that we saw today, it's really difficult. No, they are very simple. It's not so difficult to comprehend, to understand the message, main ideas, and of course, maybe there was some new vocabulary. Absolutely, it can be, and that's the point. That's the idea of every practice of this new language, right? So congratulations, people. Thank you very much for everything, for your support, your energy, and to be there still learning English. We started in our classes in Spanish with the basic level. Now we have the classes in English with our intermediate level. So keep on learning, keep up that energy as usual. And remember, stay home, stay safe, and keep on learning English with Teacher Clau. Hope to see you next week, next class. Bye bye. See ya.
Be mine. Come back to the city.